Story today, a 15-year-old girl has been stabbed to death in the rush hour in South London. Two teenagers have been sentenced to life in prison at the Crown Court for the murder of a 15-year-old boy. A 21-year-old man, who was stabbed to death at the Notting Hill Carnival, has been named today by his manager as rapper Tokyo Dinard. They are weapons that kill but can't be bought in shops, so why is it so easy to buy zombie knives online? They're finding knives just like this, but because there's no writing on them, the police can't do anything. Knives. The police can do nothing as the politicians keep talking. Teenagers and others keep dying. That is the reality. What would your day look like when you come out to go to the shop? Young people can't even go to the shop. There are some young people. They've got to get a cab just to go to the corner shop. They cannot walk anywhere. They cannot get on a tube. They cannot get on a bus. They cannot go to a park. They cannot be anywhere by themselves because they will get killed on sight by another child. These are zombie knives. The chances of survival are very, very slim. These are people who are not emotionally disciplined. Killing people for what reason? Knife crime is plaguing London, and it's on the rise with an increase of over 1,500 knife crime incidents this year compared to the last. And the Molly Boys, sometimes labeled as London's most violent and organized gangs, are often at the forefront of headlines. The gang, which operates in East London, has been accused of grooming and exploiting young children, controlling the drug trade in the area, and using violent weapons such as zombie knives. Some of their actions make the hit series Top Boy look tame. But who are they really, and why are they gaining notoriety at such a fast pace? 16 of the 80 homicides in the capital so far this year have been teenagers. Last year, 99 young people under 25 were murdered with a knife or sharp object in the 12 months to March 2022. 13 of those were aged under 16. One of the most prominent and reportedly business-driven gangs in London is the Molly Boys, based in Walthamstow and Leighton. According to Trident, they are responsible for 7 murders in 3 years or less that we know of. News outlets tend to paint them as a small group of young people who have fled war-torn Somalia and settled in the UK. But through investigating further, we have found that the group is ethnically diverse. There are over 200 people of a wide range of ages associated with the group. This is Valentine Road in London's Walthamstow. It's been called the UK's most dangerous street, and some say it's run by the Molly Boys. The notorious gang has been associated with crimes from murder to arson and sex attacks. The latest alleged ringleader, Hamza Alhu, is currently serving life behind bars for double murder. Earlier this year, he received a second jail term for at least 36 years for a fatal stabbing. Both killings were in revenge over a fatal attack on a fellow Molly Boy gang member, Elijah Delhi, but the group itself is still at large and has become a prominent feature in the UK drill music scene. He's written a book about them. In fact, it's his own story. He was a notorious gangster. Divine is an entrepreneur who runs the knife crime charity Kiss for Life. He grew up in Walthamstow and became a key player in the gang violence there. He even went to school with some of the Molly Boys. He spoke to us about why so many young people are becoming involved in conflict. He was about 13 when he originally got involved in a downward spiral or the gang life, if you put it that way. What sort of led him down that road were many different factors, a lack of self-discipline in terms of my own personal accountability for that. But in terms of a bigger picture, it was the influences around me that sort of led me down that road. He was born in the UK, moved to Ghana when he was 2, and came back when he was 7. When he came back, the environment was completely different to me in terms of trying to create self-belief. They were in an environment where a lot of young people could just be bullied or picked on just by not being in the crowd or something like that. And then when you realize that you're feared and people sort of do as you say, you realize you can then capitalize on that and go into things that can make you money. Doing that, you realize you're now spiraling into a very aggressive, violent road. He wanted cars, he wanted jewelry, he wanted all these things because he believed it was going to make him feel valued. And when he realized after going through that journey and having all these things, he still did not feel like he was a valuable person to society. He would go into certain environments with some of my friends. He would go to schools, colleges, universities. And he thinks that the minute he realized my self-value, everything around me just died. It's just like being in a toxic relationship and you wake up one day and say, enough is enough, this is not for me. Imagine a 13-year-old kid, you live in an area like Tottenham and you go to a school that's quite close to Wood Green. Wood Green has a lot of conflicts with Tottenham, so just the fact that you're going to school and you're from that area, automatically you could just be seen as an enemy by default. Being able to protect yourself and saying, I'm going to get a knife, as much as it sounds very crazy, cannot be the most bad idea. Now people carrying knives, it now puts you in a position where you can easily become the perpetrator. He have seen a lot of people that ended up in issues where they became the ones stabbing or killing someone, but essentially, they saw themselves as a victim, and having to carry a knife was a way to protect themselves. Just carrying a knife to protect yourself because of the environment you're in, even though you didn't want to, you felt it was the right choice to do. Now you're in a position where you've ended up stabbing someone because you're angry. And then back to selling drugs, for example, with the Marley Boys and everything else. If you're in an environment where you know financially everyone around you is struggling and you have no money, and people are able to give you a job or a platform where you could be earning £500 at the age of 13 to 16, again, it doesn't seem like the most crazy idea. A lot of these young people are going through traumatic situations. They are just literally mentally disturbed and challenged just from their upbringing. It's far easier for a lot of young people to end up in an environment they didn't even want to be in. Now, the average young person carries a knife that goes from their knee to their waist, like this big. These are zombie knives. The chances of survival are very, very slim. These are huge killing tools. You can't have a Rambo knife for any other reason than to kill someone. The government deals with intervention and they fund intervention, but intervention is too late. Something's already happened. Someone's already been stabbed, someone's already been hurt, someone's already become a victim. I don't think anyone is naturally violent. There's probably a few, probably 5% of the world population is probably that way. See, most people, the reason why I believe most people go on the road is economical. They believe it's for money, and everybody goes out there and thinks it's an easy way of making money. But as we were talking about earlier on, it's societal. Everybody wants to find their place in life, especially young people. We all do. We all want to find out who our friends are, what peer groups we belong to. Some strive for higher peer groups, and to get into those higher peer groups, now you've got to do certain things and you've got to be a certain way. You've got to be either that man or that specific female to get in those specific circles. Now, you know, people think that young people are being groomed, and they always use this word groom, groom, groom. It's just naive and vulnerable young people that want to do these things because they want to fit in. They want to impress. They want to be a part. Every area is safe until young people out there make it unsafe, and it's only dangerous for young people. But when a 14-year-old boy like Jaden gets killed, it's nothing. He got killed in a mistaken identity. He got on a motorbike which belonged to somebody else, and someone else must have done something on the motorbike unbeknownst to him. And some people were looking for someone on that motorbike. They saw him, he's got a crash helmet on, they drove up to him, knocked him off the motorbike and stabbed him 9 times. And the way that it deals with now, if I can't get you, I'm going to get your sister, I'm going to get your brother, I'm going to get your mom. And this is how they're thinking. So once you decide to go on the road and get ups and enemies, you're taking your whole family with you, and they just don't understand that. Professor Andrew Whiter of London South Bank University, who wrote a report focusing on gang conflict in the area, said since 2010, more than 4,500 youth work jobs have been cut, and 760 youth centers have closed. So does our government need to do more for young people? And could we ever see our streets without gang violence? What do you think needs to be done? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more criminal news. And one more thing, stay safe. See you in the next one. Thank you.